Hi there, this is Rebecca Blizzard, and I am finishing up EDL 853 Special Education with Module 13, our case study. Let's get started. Okay, here's my table of contents. First, I'm going to summarize, define the situation, talk about the stakeholders, really evaluate that problem. Then I'm going to prioritize. I'm going to talk about all the important aspects of the case. Then I'm going to evaluate that case, figure out what the outcomes could be and their consequences. And finally, I'm going to conclude, I'm going to make a decision, and I'm going to analyze its possible effects with evidence. All right, summary. So here's my friend, Miguel Hernandez. And he's our student. He's in this case. He was a new sophomore student. He was recently injured at a football game. He now uses a wheelchair to access his classrooms. Okay. Who are our stakeholders besides Miguel? Well, obviously his family. Mr. and Mrs. Hernandez, they're his parents. They are his advocates, and they moved here to Dover to have their children, all four of them, participate in the football program. And now they're seeking equal access for Miguel. We have Miss Gussman. She is our school counselor at Nottingham High School. She conducted the initial meeting with Miguel's family about his return to school. And Dr. Harvey is our superintendent at Dover Unified School District. He is a positive influence and has good relationships with the staff and the students. A couple additional people. Howard Carey, he was introduced to us at the second meeting with the Hernandez family. He's their attorney, and he is seeking free and appropriate education for Miguel, so FAPE. Public education. And then myself, I am the principal at Nottingham High School, and I am responsible for ensuring that equal access for Miguel. Okay, so place. We are in the Dover community. It's Dover Unified School District. It has 6 elementary schools, 2 middle schools, and 1 high school. And the high school is called Nottingham. I think that's interesting. Most small towns, the high school is just named after the city. Dover High School makes sense, but it's just a case study. The schools are the center of the community. Friday night football is a huge community tradition. And while the high school was renovated in certain areas, still a quarter of it remains original to the 1950s condition, which is not ADA compliant. Okay, so the program here in Dover, Dover's one high school. I am the principal over 3,200 students. The buildings, there are more than one building because there are several temporary trailers that have been added because we have so many students now. And the community supports all of our services in our program, especially that football program. Okay, so what's our problem? After the football injury, Miguel Hernandez, he has to use a wheelchair for mobility. When he's ready to return to school, a meeting is held with Miss Gussman, the counselor, and to accommodate his needs. And after that first day back, the Hernandez family, well, they're upset because Miguel's schedule has been changed due to his lack of physical access to the biology class. It's unclear if that's on the second floor and maybe there's no elevator. It's unclear if the doorway is too small. I don't have that information, so I can't tell you why he can't access it. It could be just a simple need of a ramp. I don't know. And a lawyer was hired by the family, and he has been involved in this case. Okay, here's my one sentence problem in one sentence. Miguel Hernandez has a new set of needs that requires a 5-0 floor plan to ensure he has access to a free and appropriate public education. That's our job. All right. 2, we're going to prioritize. So what are the really specific aspects of this case? So the ethics, we need to consider these things. Under Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act, students with disabilities are entitled to FAPE. They must receive educational services and accommodations to the same effect of their non-disabled peers. So he should still be able to attend biology class. All right, so Miguel's parents, here's our facts. Miguel's parents reported that he would not need accommodations besides getting into the classrooms. So that's really important. Miss Gussman did not alter Miguel's schedule until after his first day back. Probably that day she realized maybe he can't get to biology. And lastly, his parents were not informed of the schedule change. Miguel went home and informed them. That's poor communication. Okay, what's our potential damage? Well, a big ceremony was held for Miguel when he returned to school, so he's a public figure. All the students know him, probably the community, because it's a football community, knows him as well. So it's really important that we don't really mess up, because that's a PR problem. And then the school is liable. We're basically liable. We need to protect Miguel's rights to FAPE. Okay, so here's the information we don't have. There actually was a lot that we really need to make this case really clear. But I don't know what exactly Ms. Gussman outlined in her plan for Miguel. I don't have that information. I don't know if she is planning on a 504 evaluation down the road. I don't have any idea what her plan is. I don't know what the conversation was either. Meeting attendance. I don't know if I was at that meeting. It doesn't tell me in the case study. So I don't know if I know what the plan is. And then the school nurse and the psychologist, both of those people should have attended that first meeting. They need to be part of the team. So students that have physical needs need the school nurse. We need to know how is he okay with the restroom? Does he need help with other situations? Changing for gym, for example. And the school psychologist should also be involved, because they generally will lead, do we need to look at an evaluation like a 504? And then lastly, Miguel's academic needs. He did have a major accident. I don't know if there was a brain injury in this accident or not. Has his academics changed? His is cognitive ability the same as it was before the accident? That's not clear. Okay, so now let's think about our possible outcomes. So we have three choices. Choice one, take no action. Do nothing. See what happens. This is not a good choice, but we're going to pretend. We're going to play it out. We're going to see where the lawyer leads us. Choice two, push back. We can take aggressive action. We can ask the district to, get the legal team involved. So we could fight the Hernandez family and their requests. And then choice three, wouldn't you know it, it's the best choice. Conduct an evaluation and write a 504 plan. So after we meet as the series of team meetings, including the family, we're going to figure out how we can get biology back on Miguel's schedule by either moving biology or modifying the building. So choice one, take no action. So we're just going to let this play out. We're going to make no formal plans. We're not going to set any meetings. We're just going to let the Hernandez lawyer tell us what to do. So we're going to let Mr. Carey lead the way. Pros and cons. I put negatives next to the cons and positives next to the pros. So of course the negatives would be that the school would be responsible for making modifications, and if I let the lawyer lead the way, the modifications could maybe become astronomical. I don't know what they would be. So they need to be practical and they need to be applicable to Miguel. Next, this would set a precedent for other cases. So if I just do nothing and let the lawyer tell us what to do, that's probably not going to work out in the future. And then finally, the only positive I could think of, that hey, the lawyer's going to do all the work. He's just going to lay out the plan for us. That's not a good plan. Don't pick choice one. Choice two, take aggressive action. So we're going to ask the district to hire a lawyer for us. We're gonna fight this. We're gonna say we were right from the beginning, and he needs to switch classes. So cons of that: assigning Miguel another science course. We're fulfilling his great graduation requirements, so I think that could be okay. Except that his family really would like for him to take biology because that's what he needs for university. This could also be a costly choice. So lawyers are expensive. This could be a really big fight, and this could cost the district a lot of money. And then the only positive that I could think of is we would really be standing by our guns. We would be, Miss Gussman, you know what you're doing. We're standing by you. Team. Okay, choice three, of course, the best choice. We're going to begin that 504 plan process for Miguel. We're going to consult the district and the state to find out what those guidelines are, what information we need, what's the criteria for the evaluation, and then we're going to follow through with several team meetings, including Miguel and his family. Cons of that, this would probably take some time, and the Hernandez family could still be angry and pursue that legal action while we're evaluating. Positives of that, this would be doing the right thing. We would be doing what's ethically and legally right for Miguel and our jobs. So that's the positive. Okay, so of course, choice 3, winner, winner. Chicken dinner, here we go. So my reason is, of course, that according to the U.S. Department of Education, students with disabilities must receive the same quality of service as their non-disabled peers. Miguel needs to be allowed to take biology in a setting that accommodates him. And then the potential consequences, if we do not find a solution to help the Hernandez family, we could be held accountable. So we need to legally cover all aspects of his education or risk that legal action. Okay, so conclusion, what's my proof? What are we required to provide to him? So what through FAPE are we required? Well, the least restrictive environment, of course. So by asking him to change science courses mid-year after he's already started biology, we're restricting his access. So he needs that course for college. He needs to be allowed to take it if he is academically able. Here's my choice implementation. So first, we're going to request a new team meeting for Miguel. We're going to invite the district coordinator for 504 plans or the district office, whoever's in charge of special education. They definitely need to be there. We need to propose beginning that evaluation with the team. Then, because of Miguel's mobility, he needs that wheelchair accommodation. He's likely to qualify. He has one crucial component of the evaluation that is he's not being able to gain access to the entire building, so we need to provide the adaptations. We're going to request those modifications be made by the district to the classrooms. That will probably be cheaper than a legal battle, so they should fix the classrooms. Or we can also temporarily move biology. I realize that a lab is difficult to move, but in this situation, everybody probably needs to be flexible and make that happen until more permanent modifications can be made that are ADA compliant. All right, and then we're going to communicate with all the team members about the progress and the procedures put in place for Miguel. And we're going to reevaluate that 504 every single year. Okay, so why is my choice valid? Why is this a good choice? Well, even though VAPE does not allow for specific programs or class settings for students with disabilities, so I can't say that I specifically want my student to be in a Montessori setting. Miguel was already enrolled in biology, so they're not asking for a specific setting. They're not asking for something special. They're asking for something he already had. So he should be able to continue that course, and if he's academically able. Again, that's a piece I don't know. If he had any blocks, maybe some brain issues, I really don't know. In addition, our school did not give the family that appropriate notice at all. Yes, he doesn't have that 504 yet, but they should have been notified. The 504 would protect that line of communication so that they could be notified about all changes. Okay, so what needs to happen in the future? Boy, that district needs to have a solid policy. We should not be meeting with one person to talk about a re-entry back into school after a major injury. The district should have a policy for evaluating students with disabilities and needs, and the team should meet with every family that's concerned about accommodations, so not just one person again. And what would happen if the district disagrees with me? Well, if the district disagrees with me, I'm going to back it up with evidence. There's a lot of different cases I can show them, or legal aspects that we need to follow through with. And if Miguel's family does continue to pursue legal action, I will need to document every single step. So I'm going to need to document every communication, every piece of his evaluation, every accommodation that's happening in the classroom as well, so that I can give it to the district legal team. And in conclusion, this could have easily been prevented if we already had those policies in place, if Ms. Gussman was aware of that they needed to call a team meeting, even for something as simple as being able to get into classrooms or changing schedules. And it's our duty, legally and ethically, to serve all students. Here are my resources. I will post these on community currents. Thanks so much. I've enjoyed this class.